Good morning. Day 305 of the Worldwide Megacrisis Hungerstrike to save whose life? Your life and all those that we care about. And not just biological life, but eternal life. Because we're starting God's government here and we're getting serious about it. So, a four-part update, as you know, to keep these structured and moving forward. Number one, my personal update. I'm feeling like we crossed over to a new kind of being. The way I'm being treated is different than how I've been treated since my first hunger strike 5 years ago. I've done 11 in the past 2 years, and probably around 250 days of hunger I've experienced. More than that, maybe even 300. Lots. But I'm eating now, as you guys know, and I'm having some of this organic peanut butter because it's one of the best ways if you don't have a peanut allergy to get your essential fats and lots of protein, at least one side of the amino chain. If you decide to go vegan with me, yes, the Messiah is vegan because we eat like Eden. Go vegan. That's a divine decree now, because it doesn't just involve you, it involves 1 trillion animals we torture every year and the destruction of the planet. But personally, I can't wait to eat this morning. I get so excited, as you guys know. I've been showing off my plants, a whole bunch of stuff. And I have my little blessing candle here for the 730 million who don't get to eat with me now. And that's why it's urgent, you guys. We have to get God's government, the wise government, off the ground immediately. If you go on fast, if you just did Ramadan with, if you're a Muslim, then you have experienced a glimmer of the hunger and the suffering. It can be debilitating. It can be purifying because it makes you appreciate things in life. You don't get numb. Okay, so if you're coming out of that, you understand the urgency. You have to feel that, you guys, to get out of this numb state, especially in North America. Okay, if you're a Christian, a true Muslim, a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Jew, people of true faith and belief and passion, that urgency, that inner hunger should be with you at all times. No more lukewarm spirits. What does it say in Revelation? Spit you out of my mouth. If you have lukewarm spirit like the Lacedaemonians, I think Paul was saying. Anyway, that's from the Bible. But no matter what holy text you're using, the Bhagavad Gita, the Tripitaka, whatever you're using, the Torah, the Kabbalah, you're being called. And I'm feeling good about it because I'm being treated like I was seeing clearly when the rest were lost. And that is the truth. Because I spent the last 5 years making these personal sacrifices and living the messianic life and not being pulled into this dead hamster wheel of abstract profit maximization that's destroying everything, you guys. It's literally destroying our inner connection, fulfillment. Your house can be filled with tons of things, but you'll feel empty. Because you need this universal logic, the structure of pure wisdom, the meaning of God's pure being, or the meaning of truth. Pure objective science in itself is the same thing because it's the truth and the conditions of the truth. And I'm feeling like people are being receptive to that now because they can see death coming. And sometimes it takes that to wake people up to this deeper essence in them, because you can't attach yourself to this life in the same way after that, because you know you're not taking any of this stuff with you. Not the material stuff. Okay, the memories, the mind is a lot more powerful. It's a lot deeper than people realize. And I'm starting to feel glimmers of that in the collective spirit. I have it in my own spirit. I wrote the proof of truth. I proved it's in you. I proved you're sacred scientifically. So now you have a responsibility to rise up to that. And I just had one of my old volunteers, like from 15 years ago, that hasn't messaged me in years, in like a decade, just send me a beautiful spiritual video on Facebook out of nowhere. And I think they know what's coming. And it's a song called Saturn. Go check it out if you can find those songs. So I'm feeling pretty okay. I went to bed at 3 a.m. Only got about 3.5, 4 hours of sleep. So I'll probably take a nap today because it's important to what? Stay balanced and in your flow state. Go look up flow states. That's where we're aiming with God's government. That's the highest good and service, It's the secular language for divine experience of who you truly are in this godliness that is now proven to you in sacredness. That's why you get sacred time when you come to a godly meeting or one of the God's government meetings. So that's how I'm feeling. Good. And the conference, the last conference of humanity, is being planned, and it's exciting, which I'll give. Maybe I should give them. Well, personally, that's what's making me happy, because we're going to choose 65 speakers. And if you want us to have a certain speaker across all these core topics of the One World Spirit core, or the Fair World Spirit too, or the New World Spirit, then you can suggest them and help us plan. We're recruiting volunteers right now. We just messaged the convention centers that we might use, because it's going to be very large. And once you get the 65 speakers confirmed, I think that's where people will start to believe, and they'll start to get excited that we're literally starting God's government in wisdom, pure wisdom. I know what pure wisdom is, and soon so will you if you come. And on Friday, you can come if you're on LinkedIn and you're serious. There's a special gathering I'm hosting for very gifted people. So we can start to top down as we're building the bottom up. We're doing grassroots right now with the recruitment and the volunteers and the ever-living meetings, as you guys have heard in the previous videos, and the cooking with M, the gourmet vegan cooking, teaching all very human level relatable things is us organizing on the grassroots, bottom up. But now on Friday, we also have the top down. And we have 2 Harvard people coming and 1 World Bank person. But now we also have a chief of an indigenous tribe coming. The guy has a lot of decades of experience, so it's it's great to see that we have even marginalized communities wanting to learn what pure wisdom is, so that their values and their ancient wisdom traditions are in God's government. And the way I teach it, it purifies the mind so you can recognize it in all cultures, not in the bland, generic way. Oh, we all love, those are indeterminate, semi-useless declarations. Right? What is love? It's the devil's in the details. As soon as you say, "Oh, we're all loved," people start killing each other when you say, "Well, what is love?" Well, love is an eagle and it flies, and no, love is the Ark of the Covenant, or it is Mecca. It's whatever you think it is where the fighting happens in finite reality. So there's a purity that I'm going to teach, and it's going to be on Friday if you want to come and learn the first exercise. Very simple with these people. We're going to test it to see what happens with highly intelligent people. And one of these people is an international affairs expert at Harvard. And if she understands and breaks through, then she can start the universal diplomacy to stop World War III. And so that's our core update today. So I'm about to eat here. I'm starting to recover, but there's something wrong with the water. The water tastes like chlorine, and I'm going to make a note on this video because something has changed. Either my filter stopped working in my broken jug, as you guys know right here, or they're dousing the water with chlorine because there might have been a spill or some kind of contamination and they're covering it up. It just tastes like a swimming pool, and I have broken smell. If I could taste the chlorine with a filter, and it's making my stomach upset. That's why I'm buying a filter tonight. Instacart refunded me like $52 or something, and they never do that. And BlackRock and all these Vanguard, one woman from Vanguard, which is one of the largest hedge funds or investment funds in the world, is behind this Instacart, but they're also in my group. Somebody from their Vanguard is in this Friday meeting, which means we can start to get those people aligned with wisdom, the biggest corporations in the world. It's going to take a top down and bottom up. We need everybody. God's government doesn't abandon anybody. Everyone can be redeemed in a wise love. We're not foolish. We're going to be setting some boundaries because this toxic behavior needs to stop now. Okay. And speaking of that, personally, 10 out of 10 spiritual, you guys, and I'm getting stronger physically. I'll probably eat for another week now that my stomach is kind of settled, but I got to take care of this chlorine problem. All right, we're at 10 minutes almost, so let me get the rest of the update done. You guys know how the core goes. If your family and friends are despairing and they're waking up that they're about to die or experience a loss of freedom, enslavement by AI, very quickly. It's not just AI, it's 6 existential threats, as you know. So you can tell them the core to start giving them some hope that somebody has clarity on what to do. We know the essence of what has to happen here. And it goes like this. One World Spirit or Fair World Spirit core starts with time compression through clarity on ego wisdom. The problem is the mega crisis. The solution is the 2 sacred sentences. And the implementation is flow, rules, and flocks. Done. What was that? 10 seconds. Now let's go back and unpack. We are unpacking the mega crisis, which you know is the meta crisis and poly crisis. We're done with the meta crisis, so look back at the videos if you want to see that. The poly crisis, we talked about AI, the fastest moving problem, CRISPR yesterday, and today's World War III. Iran and the United States are talking right now, but the United States is giving an ultimatum that they're going to blow up every power plant in their country, Iran, in 48 hours if they do not open the strait that is containing 1/5 of the world's oil. And it's threatening a lot of people. And he's threatening to start World War III because it's going to force NATO and the rest of the countries like France and Spain into the war with him, because they don't want to do it. They're trying to abandon it because he knows that the United States is going to lose to China if they don't do something radically different than what happens historically as a superpower declines. And he's doing something that's unusual. And if he's breaking out of that reality, he's doing it. That's why it's so weird what he's doing. He's not doing linear things. So he's playing with World War III. In fact, we are in World War III right now, but it will go to the next level of escalation. And all war, here's what you need to know about this core piece. All war is actually ideological. It starts in fragmented consciousness. Like we talked about before, the heart of the crisis, of the meta crisis, is also the heart in the poly crisis. It's about fragmentation. That ideology and ideas is what causes material wars, because people fight over who deserves those resources. And that deserving comes down to usually religion. 85% of people in the world right now are still religious. So we cannot ignore the religious issue. We have to solve the contradictions between Christianity, between Christians, Catholics, even between the Catholics. Unite the Catholics with the Protestants, unite all the Christians with the Muslims, unite the Muslims, the Shias and the Sunni, and then unite in the three branches of Buddhism and also Hinduism, all of them together with science. So atheists and theists also come together on universal logic. That's what's going to happen. Those are going to be the first miracles of God's government. And it has to do with solving the fragmented thoughts. Thoughts are infinitely powerful. We've been trained in the weak world to not know that. And, it can get into delusional kinds of psychosis if you do it the wrong way. We're not talking about that kind of infinite power. But to stay grounded in that intensity where even space and time are distorting or compressing, you have to be clear on what the truth is, so you don't lose yourself and you don't lose goodness and you don't give into fear. Okay, and that's part of the mental health crisis. But right now, World War III is exacerbating this because the fragmentation between countries is resulting in 58 global wars and 3 major ones, with the next escalation. Even if they solve things with Iran, it'll come next with China, planned for 2027. Over AI, a whole bunch of things. Okay? So we need all the diplomats in the world, right? We're contacting the United Nations with this last conference of humanity. We're basically restructuring the United Nations to align with God and God's government, or the truth, because currently it's not. It's too slow, it's fragmented. It needs to be a super coherence, a governance model that unites the militaries. And we have a way to do that. And I'm working with a guy on this right now in the United States military or Navy. So real potential here. And if these Harvard individuals and this tribe leader and these leaders get on board and they see the power of the simplicity and the structure of pure wisdom, then it will go very, very quickly. The conference will start to build. The last conference of humanity doesn't end with the last conference of humanity. It ends with the beginning of spirit. The first conference of spirit, where we actually have an election, and we're going to launch this with 65 speakers leading policy development that we debate over days, and then we actually make them divine decrees and do them. And there's 6 divine decrees that I'm making already, but it's going to be ratified with other people on why this is the essence of the problem. So don't waste any time in confusion. We zero in, we laser in on what needs to be done. Okay, so that's how we have to understand World War III and how to de-escalate it. The most supreme security technology is universal logic, because it de-escalates the fragmentation at the root level. It's going to resolve Palestine and Israel. It will. And we're going to give a universal passport to transfer over boundaries, even hostile ones, with special protections from God's government. Because people who get these passports pass the citizenship test with God's government here. You go from refugee, fleeing a dying world, even if you're anywhere in the world. God's government is everywhere, it's in the inner. But it also starts to transform the outer. So you start with refugee status, you go to permanent residency, and then you go to citizenship, and then you can get these passports where we know at a high level that you can sublate and you bring the structure of pure wisdom with you over boundaries in different cultures, and you don't get sucked into these finite battles that can't be resolved the way that they're trying to resolve them. It's brutal and it's brutish, and we're above that in terms of wisdom and spirit. Okay? That's where we're going. It's exciting. Nobody else is talking about this because they don't know wisdom yet, not pure wisdom. And we do. And I will teach it to you for free, pricelessly. But you got to get into spirit. So I guess it's not free on that level. You got to do that work. Okay? No free riding problems here. Studied economics. Wise love, not blind love. All right. So that's the core. The emergency the emergency core is, world news is saying that. Even like BlackRock is saying about AI, they're holding off on investment because they're saying it's going to create massive wealth inequality. That's one of the richest $1 trillion hedge funds in the world saying that. So there's hope with them. They're trying, which is good. And then also, with Iran and the 48-hour deadline, it looks like they're negotiating. But we need a much higher level of negotiation, which we're teaching. Okay, so you guys know I end this at 16 minutes. These are getting quite long. The end of this is, hey, we can bake our vegan cake and eat it too. Our personal lives, our professional lives, and our activist lives can all happen at once, you guys. You don't need to live aesthetic lifestyles, but I do need you to make some sacrifices. Whether you come on the hunger strike with me for a little while, or you fast, or you protest peacefully, or you learn, take some time out to learn universal logic in the core, memorize it, come to our meetings, do the training. Come on Friday if you're on LinkedIn. For me personally, I'm looking for the wife, my intimate life area. There's 11 life areas that we're going to help you with you when you come to these, right? Because there's going to be an abundance due to the proper alignment with the way God's being works is emergent abundance rather than the scarcity, this trickle down. So my wife has a slogan that I put out for her to help me find her. And it's that if she's too hardcore for everybody else, she's just right for me. Because she is vegan, she's an old soul. She's willing to sacrifice for others in a wise way. And she wakes up inspired to care. No matter how burnt out she gets, she can't lose that inner fire, that inner goodness. And she's a queen because she can take on the world's problems and stay grounded, strong, loving, compassionate. Not a fool. She's wise. She's an old soul. And she's beautiful, of course, and she treats herself like a temple that she is, even if she's going through a rough time. She's got that inner beauty with that outer beauty too. Okay? And I hope you find that person, and we'll help you find that person. No more of these dating apps that are pimping us basically for our personal data. Enough of that. Okay? So if you want more of this vision, jump on board. I'll be here for you. Until tomorrow, what are you going to do? Stay blessed and keep sublating. Okay. Peace.